In this episode, I want to spend some time showing you why Bawumia is better for the youth than former President Mahama. You know, last Sunday, the leader of the MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, spent about 2 hours outlining his vision for Ghana's youth. Thousands of young people joined him in person and online to listen and follow his ideas. There were no insults, no attacks. He was just focused on his vision for Ghana's youth: jobs. Since then, a lot of young people are asking, so who is best for the youth? Is it Bawumia or Mahama? In this podcast, I'm going to share with you about 6 reasons, only six reasons, why I genuinely believe that the youth of Ghana will be better off under Bawumia as compared to Mahama. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Reason number 1. Bawumia represents the party and the philosophy that believes that Ghanaian youth must be invested in and supported so that their best abilities can come out. They can make a good life for themselves and also serve the Republic. And I'll show you why. You see, the philosophy of the MPP laid down by J.B. Dankwa talks about investing in the dignity of people. And that is why from 2001, when President Kufuor came to power, he introduced a capitation grant. I don't know if you've heard about it before. The capitation grant essentially was money given to public basic schools to support the number of students in the school. The reason is that before then, a lot of school children had to carry some logistics to school. Schools were struggling to provide basic logistics to take care of children who were in school. And so Kufuor introduced a capitation grant aimed at encouraging a lot of schools to be able to accommodate and take care of young children in schools without putting a burden on their parents. Then he topped it up with what he called the school feeding program. So kids get 1 hot meal a day in school. Enrollment numbers went up so that a lot more kids could be in school and get an education. When Akufo-Addo came to power, he introduced the free senior high school program. Why? Because if you could not afford to pay to go to a private school and you were going to a public school, he believed, and the MPP believes based on our philosophy, that the Republic must be interested in investing in you. And since then, 5.7 million Ghanaian youth have benefited from free senior high school education and free TVET. Before Kufuor came to power, we had 19 years of NDC governance. They didn't do much to impact education as Kufuor did with capitation grant. And after Kufuor, we had 8 years of NDC rule. Apart from e-blocks and trying to deal with schools under trees, they didn't do much until Akufo-Addo and Bawumia came to power. Now Bawumia says that for tertiary, he wants you to get access to a well-funded student loan scheme so that you can get tertiary education and you pay back when you get a job eventually. Additionally, because the MPP still believes in investing in young people, we have supported over 350,000 young people with various incentives from the YE to the GE. So the first argument I'm making to you is that if you're a young person, you have to choose a party that believes in investing in young people, in education and skills for young people. The last time the NDC tried it, even under the Mills Mahama administration, it ended in scandals and some of their own people ended up in jail for it. So trust Bawumia because he will invest in young people. I'm going to give you the second reason. Bawumia has a strong jobs plan which will accommodate up to about 4 million Ghanaian youth during his tenure as president. Why? Because jobs are important for young people, jobs are important for the economy. And I'll give you a few examples. You see Agenda 111, that's Bawumia's idea. The president has said it openly. I was privileged to be in the COVID task force meeting when the president announced it as having come from Bawumia. Agenda 111 will create 75,000 health-based jobs or people who work in the health services and another 75,000 non-healthcare jobs. In all, that's about 150,000 jobs. Now you need a leader who believes in Agenda 111 so that he will fund it to completion and ensure that about 150,000 jobs are created in that one alone. You see the digitization program that Bawumia has been talking about. Let me share with you some data. By 2030, there will be about 230 million digital jobs for Africa. Out of that 230 million digital jobs, Ghana alone has the potential to take up about 9 million of those jobs. This is why Bawumia wants to train about 1 million youth in coding and IT related jobs, so that Ghanaians are prepared to take up those jobs. The report is titled Digital Skills in Sub-Saharan Africa, Spotlight on Ghana. If you have time, you can read the hyperlink that is here. Now, there are many other job areas he's been talking about. For example, creating an SME bank to provide financial support for young men and women who are looking for credit or capital to do their own business. A lot of people have their own side hustles or little gigs that they are doing, but they can't find the financing from our traditional banks and finance institutions to help them on. Bawumia is creating an SME bank that will give you credit so that you can do your side hustle better, faster, stronger, and even bigger than you are doing currently. Let me tell you, for example, about the Jobs Abroad program. You remember when Akufo-Addo piloted the Jobs Abroad program? We trained nurses, we facilitated their travel to the Caribbean islands where they are serving today. They are making money, and hopefully when the program is fully rolled out, a lot more Ghanaians will benefit. Bawumia wants to expand that and give tens of thousands of Ghanaian youth an opportunity to be trained in various healthcare areas as well as hospitality areas, so that they can go out there in the Jobs Abroad program, they work and earn a living, and the Republic will also earn something from the investments made in them. If you talk about the security services, between 2017 and now, excluding the military, we've recruited about 36,000 young men and women for the security services. The last time the NDC was in power, they told us that because of the financial difficulties, they could not recruit as large numbers as Ghanaians were clamoring for. I could go on and on and on and on. Take something like double track. The NDC complains a lot about double track being a bad idea. But let me share with you some data on double track jobs, or jobs created as a result of the double track program. About 14,853 people were employed by the Ghana Education Service just because of double track. 14,853. 12,391 of them were teachers and 2,462 non-teaching staff. Bawumia is promising to expand education some more, as I've explained to you earlier. And following this, there will be more jobs there. So if you're a young person hoping to get employment, whether in the security services or in teaching, the programs that Bawumia is rolling out will also give you an opportunity to work there. For those in sports, creative arts and tourism, Bawumia is pushing in more resources through the Development Bank of Ghana to boost industry and support sporting through the YEA, among others, to create salaried jobs for many young people in sports, creative arts and tourism. He also has a plan for public facilities maintenance, which will provide over 10,000 jobs to young people across the country, working in assisting us to maintain public infrastructure so that it doesn't deteriorate before we now need to repair. In agriculture, for example, he wants to boost job creation by supporting districts with machinery. I'm sure you've seen the drip machines, where districts are getting machines to fix their roads. Bawumia has a version for agriculture, where districts get machines and young people in farming can tap into these machines and be able to service their farms at a very lower cost, thereby reducing the barriers to entry into agriculture and the risk associated with it. In industry, he already wants to make energy costs cheaper, he wants to reduce taxes, and he wants to put up more of the special economic zones. If Akufo-Addo's 1D1F has created 170,000 jobs already, when Bawumia reduces energy prices and reduces taxes and does more of the special economic zones, we can double the number of jobs therein. So if you're a young person looking for a job, which is something that is very important to many young people, your answer is Bawumia and not Mahama. Let me give you reason number 3. Young people know that the future of the economy is digital. When you wake up in the morning, usually what's the first thing you do? You pick up your phone and you check what's going on around the world. True or false? Because a lot of our world today revolves around the digital ecosystem. And that's why Bawumia believes that digitization is tied to economics. Mr. Mahama, on the other hand, thinks that digitization has nothing to do with economics. The same digitization that allows you to advertise your product online, take your payment by Momo, and somebody using Uber or GH Ride can deliver your products for you. Mr. Mahama says it's not economics. The same digitization that allows us to deliver medicines to villages and reduce the cost of healthcare services and the cost of health bills. Mr. Mahama said it's not economics.
The question is, why has he run away from the economy to digitalization? He used to do big about economy. Today he can't mention economy. It's not in his vocabulary. Anytime he opens his mouth, digitalization. Come and talk about the economy.
The same digitization that allows you to apply for government services online, reduce human interface, save transport money and the unofficial cost. Mr. Mahama says it's not economics, but that's a different debate for a different day. Anyway, knowing that digitization is economics, Dr. Bawumia has rolled out a program to make Ghana a digital state so that you, a young person, can function easily, you can access services easily, you can make your money easily, and you can fulfill your dreams and ambitions easily. He will make more public services digitized. He will expand the digital infrastructure network of our country and enable cheaper and faster connectivity. Additionally, when it comes to digital interventions, you can trust that Dr. Bawumia will do it at a fair price. You know, the last time the NDC tried a major digitization intervention, that was mobile money interoperability. They signed a contract for $1 billion. At the time, that was about 4-point-something billion cedis. When Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia assumed office and took over that project, he did it for $4.5 million. Can you imagine? The last time the NDC said they were building a Hope City, which was supposed to be a digital village, they pegged it around $10 billion and nothing happened. So it's only Bawumia who has a well thought through and a credible plan for Ghana's digital future, with you, the young person, at the center of it. And I think if you're trying to make a choice, that choice is Bawumia and not Mahama. Reason number 4. Young people want a growing economy. Why? Because when the economy grows, more often than not, there are jobs associated with it. Before President Mills left office, he left a growth rate of 9%. You would have imagined that if President Mahama could not increase it, he would at least keep it flat. During President Mahama's tenure, 4 years as president, actually 4.5 years, he reduced growth from the 9% that he took down to about 3.4%. I joke very often that if Ghanaians had not voted him out, that curve would have come into negative by now. When Akufo-Addo and Bawumia assumed office, we moved growth from the 3.4 to about 8.5 in the very first 12 months. And actually in the first 3 years before COVID and the global economic crisis hit, we were doing an average of 7%. So for young people out there who are looking for somebody to grow the Ghanaian economy so that you can find your own expression in it, I say to you in all humility, your answer is Bawumia and not Mahama. I give you 3 final reasons. The first is cost of living. That's my 5th argument. You see, people say times are hard, and it's true all over the world. And MMYD, that's cost of living. You usually measure it with inflation. You want a leader who can bring down inflation, not one who takes it up. President Mills left President Mahama inflation of 8.8%. That's how fast goods and services were rising in terms of price. There was no global crisis. There was no challenge around the world. The very next year, he took it up to 13.5%. The following year, 17%. The third year, 17.7%. It was in 2016 when the IMF came to help him out that he managed to bring it to 15.4%. When Akufo-Addo and Bawumia took over, we picked it up from 15.4%, brought it down to 11.8%, took it down to 9.4%, took it down further to 7.9%, before COVID hit in 2020 when it started going up again to 10.4%. Went all the way up, yes, to 54.1% by 2022. But look at it, right after that, working down, now currently 23.2%, and targeting to bring it down further to about 15.4% by the end of this year. So if you are looking for a leader who has the capacity to reduce cost of living, it's Bawumia and not Mahama. Bawumia is the one who will reduce energy bills by using solar power. Bawumia is the one who wants to halt the escalation in fuel prices through the Gold for Oil program. Bawumia is the one who wants to reduce transport fares by introducing electronic buses. So young people out there, if you are looking for a leader who can help arrest the cost of living, it's Bawumia and not Mahama. You know, very finally, Bawumia as a leader sets a very good example for the Ghanaian youth. He makes his points with respect to all manner of persons, without insults or attacks. And all of us who follow him are encouraged to do same. I can't say same for former President Mahama.
You have all those people walking around writing stupid things on social media. This election is about the economy, stupid. So put a paragraph on Airbus to equalize the discussion. I mean, what stupidity is this? It does not affect what happened in the past. And what he says is a bit silly. That is how silly what he's saying is.
You've heard him attacking and insulting many other people, but hardly would you hear that from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I think that if you are choosing a leader, you should choose one who sets examples that you can be proud of. These are my 6 top reasons for which I argue that Bawumia is better for the Ghanaian youth than Mahama. So if you're a young person out there wondering whether or not you should vote and who you should vote for, I want to submit to you in all humility that first, I think you should vote. It's in your own interest. It's for your own future. And secondly, I think you should vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.